Thanks for watching my working demonstration of the Craftsman Radial arm saw. So it can be vented. I don't have exactly the right tubing setups for this. If you set it up in your shop, you're going to want to set it up with a shop vac, just so it doesn't create a lot of dust, and that can be easily done because it's set up for that. So as you can see, I just set up the table here. I didn't set it deep enough. This thing cuts through wood like butter. Okay, so wood cutting. This saw is capable of doing a lot more than just wood cutting. You can cut some forms of metal. I've got a diamond wheel with it. I've got one of these wheels. I've got a diamond cutting wheel for cutting tile. These are not going with the saw. I'm going to keep these with me. But this saw is capable of over 100 different operations. You don't see these on the market very much because people keep them, and they're a very flexible saw. They're the most flexible tool that has ever been devised. Craftsman would rather sell you 3 different types of tools than sell you one tool. And you know, if you set it up right, there's almost no limit to what you can do. So I kind of rigged it up with the vacuum, like I said. There's that. This is an older model, obviously, because as you can tell by the older arm, but it is the 10-inch radial arm saw. Gotta wait for that train to go by. This side here is the accessory shaft for all the other different operations here. Okay. There's the motor with all the numbers and everything. So 3,450 RPM. It's a, I think it's a 3/4 horsepower or 1 horsepower motor. I've got a different table with it. I'm using this table for demonstration purposes because I didn't want to cut up the other table. The other table's actually virgin. This has the retrofit kit with it, so it came with the guard and everything. You know, I kind of like the old guard, but they gave me this. They gave me a table and everything to replace the other equipment that came with it because there was some liability to Craftsman on this. But if you set it up with the right table, you can actually get maximum depth of cut. And in this case, this out rip is 26 inches deep, so you can get all of that if you set it up right. With the table, with the retrofit kit, you're not going to be able to get that maximum depth unless you set up the table right. So I would recommend doing it differently once you get the saw. I can't, do that because it's set up for this saw this way, and if I sold it to you and there wasn't, you had something go on, that'd be on you, not on me. So I'm selling it with the table. You can modify the table to get maximum depth of cut. Okay. The saw is capable of hundreds of operations, so I'm going to get into some of that right now. All right, so first of all, it does have a 60-degree angle that you can do. It's a compound cut, so you can do a miter cut and a bevel cut in the same cut. So I'm going to take this off here, just so that we're clear of all that. I'm going to raise the saw here so I can get into some of the features. Okay, so basically this thing can be swung. Well, it can actually be swung past 60 degrees I think the side on this side the limit is 60 degrees, and on that side it's 90 degrees. I don't know why you go 90 degrees, but it does have the swing arm here, okay, and then the head tilts as well. So I'm going to take this off here, and I'm going to show you the actual motor part of the saw. So I'll come back on video here. Okay, so back to the video. So I've taken off the guard here. This guard has a couple of different things. It has a rip pawl on it and other things that have been added to it for, there's adjustable, everything's adjustable on this guard here. So Craftsman added this on, as I said, as part of a settlement because these saws were a liability to them and they had to correct the problem. Anybody who's using one of these saws, needs to know what they're doing, obviously, because you're not going to have one of these saws unless you're a serious craftsman. Okay, this is the blade that comes with it. I'm going to include this combination blade. Okay, so you can do cross and rip cuts. Okay. In addition to all that, you can do, and I kind of had to outline everything because there's so many different operations. You can do compound miter cuts. You can do ripping, cross-cutting, rabbiting. You can do a ton of grooving operations. Dadoing, you can put a dado blade on here and run dados on this thing. That would include adjustable dados, so dados that are V'd or maybe rounded at the bottom, you can do those types of cuts. That's going to be slots, chamfers, trowels, etc. There was too much to list there. You can do more than 10 different shaped grooves. You can do circle rabbiting. If you have a jig here, you can actually do circle rabbiting and rabbit the edge of a round piece of wood, or you can put it into a V slot. However you want to do that. If you want to put a Lazy Susan setup on there, that's great. You can do pattern sawing. You can cut tenyons. You can do cove cuts. You can be set up to cut discs. Okay, moldings. Scalloped, curved moldings, pattern grooving, shaping, joining, plating operations. That's another facet of that with the arbor here that is on the side. You can do molding with a molding head. There's tons of different molding heads you can put on here. So basically, if you have a shaper, this can be used as a shaper. You can do hundreds of shapes, obviously. Whatever limit there is to the amount of shapers there are, which are literally hundreds of them, that's what the limit would be here. You can also do, you can also set up a drill head on here and do drilling, routing, and sanding and other operations, because they do have sanding discs that go with this. So they have sanding wheels and discs, polishing and buffing, you name it. It's the most versatile tool, like I said, that has ever been made. So, swings. Okay, so as I was saying, it's a compound miter saw. I'm going to set this aside here, which means that it has full flexibility. So in addition to the arm swinging the way it does, okay, the head also swings. It has tilts and pivots, okay? So there's 2 locks for every swing that there is. So here, I'm going to go ahead and lock it in place. You unlock this, and then now you're pivoted, okay? This is the arbor head here, okay? So this is where you attach all your other power tools. In order to swing that out of the way to do whatever you're going to do, whether it be a 45-degree cut or whatever, a 60-degree cut, doesn't matter. You have to take the saw blade off to do that, obviously. So you just kind of swing this guy here. It does have a 45-degree angle cut, and then there, you can see there's a scale on the front here. Everything has a scale, so it's got scales on this side that have front fence or rear fence positions, and then it's got another set of scales on this side which are blade and rip in, and then rear fence position, which is marked off here. Okay, so once you've set this up, you can do operations galore. And I'm going to go ahead and lower that. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, well, you don't need to see it. Arbor's on the bottom. Whatever tool you have on the bottom, that's what's going to be used there. In addition to that direction, you can also go, okay, you got to lock it back down. You can also swing this, oops, 90 degrees or whatever it is in that direction. So full flexibility, that's why I'm calling it the most versatile tool ever made. versatile power tool ever made. So basically, so the sky's the limit. This unit here, as I said, you can set up the table differently to do deeper cuts if you're just going to be doing cutting, but you can set it up to do a number of different operations. So I think I've covered everything. I don't have the wheels for what I do have the wheels, but I'm going to keep them because I've got another saw. So I'm going to keep the wheels, but you can put this on wheels and you can roll around to your shop, or you can set up a super long shop table. If you're into doing ripping cuts, you know, to do a rip cut, basically, you know, you're going to swing this thing out of the way, and oops, you're going to set the blade up this way, or possibly, oops, probably this way, and then you're just going to feed wood into this direction here, okay? And as I said, the arm swings along with the head, so you can swing the head and the arm. I don't know why you would do that, but you can do that if you have to. And let's say you wanted to do a compound miter cut where it was angled like this, going in this direction. You can do that cut. No limit to what you can do. So I think I covered everything. Thanks for watching my video.